Hey everybody, welcome to a legacy video. This time we have the winning deck list from GP Bologna. This is Bant Miracles, which is a take on the classic Miracle shell, Miracles being Terminus, Entreat the Angels, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Swords to Plowshares, basically a Tundra control deck, lots of cantrips, Snapcaster Mage. And then this version has incorporated green for Oko, just like every other deck in Magic these days. So there's 3 Okos in this main deck. It has replaced all but one of the Teferis, all the Narsets are gone. Oko is just better than all the other Planeswalkers we were complaining about earlier this year. The green also gives us Ice Fang Coatl, and some sweet sideboard cards. Return to Nature, Veil of Summer, and the ultra spicy Carpet of Flowers. Make sure you never get squeezed out by a Delver deck. And since this deck also has Arkham's Astrolabe in it, we even get red cards out of the sideboard, which are pretty much the main reason to play Jeskai Miracles over straight blue-white. So this Bant version also gets red cards. The Volcanic Island is part of that package. When you board in the red cards, you bring in a land that can actually cast them. So basically the plan is to not die until you win, which seems like the plan of most Magic decks, but Miracles really, every turn that you don't die, you get closer to winning. Because Entreat the Angels is in your deck somewhere, Jace gives you inevitability, Oko gives you inevitability. You can nickel and dime with Snapcaster and Coatl along the way. So I have a lot of experience playing Blue-White Miracles and Jeskai Miracles, and I have not played Bant Miracles before, and I'm excited to give it a shot. Let's do it. Alright, so we're on the play for game 1. I'm going to keep this. We got lands and spells. Alright, so with Miracles, you basically always want to keep your maximum number of options open. So I'm not going to play Brainstorm on turn 1. That's almost always wrong. Someday I'll get some value out of it. Alright, so I will end step my Coatl if they don't do anything else. It looks like we might be in the mirror. So I want a basic island, and I think I'm going to get a dual land here. The fetch land go followed by basic island go tells me that they're probably not a wasteland deck. Alright, we're in there with the snake. Looks like it's going to die with the trigger on the stack. Alright, that's fine. It did its job. It became a new card and got a card out of their hand. Alright, so I could brainstorm now, but I don't think there's any reason to do that. I can save it for their end step. It'll give me more information what I'm playing against. Narset. I'm going to brainstorm and then counterspell that. Okay, so Swords to Plowshares is one of the worst cards in the mirror. And I would like Mystic Sanctuary in my deck where I can fetch it. Gonna get Tundra. The jig is up. My opponent is fetching lots of non-basics, telling me they also think the coast is clear. Alright, they have a force, but so do I. Let's hope they don't have 2. Or if they do, we're in a lot of trouble. Uh-oh. Alright, we might have just lost straight up, just like that. Narset is a huge problem in these mirrors because she makes it very difficult for you to dig back in. I have the Swords to Plowshares in my hand that's not really doing anything. even if I draw like Jace or whatever, it doesn't really do anything. I don't think this is the fight I want to pick. I could have forced the Brainstorm, but alright, they missed their land drop, so that's good. Narset's out of activations. Alright, gonna force that, because if I don't ever get to force anything again. Oko would be a pretty great draw. Terminus is a really bad draw. I should probably have a stop on my draw step all the time, so I can at least bluff a little bit. Might be in some trouble here. Alright, so I'll let them cast the Brainstorm, and in response I'll plow this thing. Just gotta keep the pressure off for a little bit. I'm gonna save the Terminus for a Monastery Mentor. Mystic Sanctuary, what do you do? Nothing. Yeah, nothing good coming from that Mystic Sanctuary right now. It'd be great to rebuy Brainstorm, but we can't play it because of Narset. Alright, they have a lot of Brainstorms, and we don't. Oh, you're a Stoneblade deck. That's pretty terrifying. Alright, so I think I do fetch for a Mystic Sanctuary here, put Swords to Plowshares on top. Gotta clear that out. I really don't want to play against Batterskull. They could hardcast it if they have a land. I can Terminus to clear the Germ. Alright, they didn't want to make that play. Great. Alright, we have Brainstorm. As miserable as it is, Brainstorm to draw one, put two back on their turn. And Terminus and Mystic Sanctuary are both better in my deck than they are in my hand. But that's also just straight up -2 cards. Oh, well, we are mostly deceased anyway, it seems. I might just have to do this. Yuck. Ooh, that was lucky. Alright, I clicked kind of fast there. I got excited. I hope Terminus is on top, but I don't think it is. Alright, it is. Not that that helps a whole lot. It removes the threat that's imminently killing me, but any Snapcaster, anything at this point is just gonna run me over. Alright, so I'm gonna have to fetch for my other Sanctuary here. Put plow on top again. The way the mana shook out here is pretty awkward. Now if I draw and treat the angels, I can't even cast it because I don't have double white. We had a window pretty early to slam an Oko. It just didn't happen. That's still our best draw. Alright, plow buys a little bit of time. Alright, that was a very good time to draw a plow. Oh no, you have a counterspell? Snapcaster. Brainstorm again. They've brainstormed, what, like 6 times this game? Alright, so Snapcaster is going to connect with the sword and the Jitte. I guess I can't really concede yet, but it's definitely bad. And I don't think I have an out here, because I can't bounce Snapcaster because it has Pro Blue. And I can't draw an extra card. Whoops, I showed him the Teferi for nothing. Alright, never mind. I thought I might be able to cantrip into something, but Narset is still in play. Yeah, so that game perfectly illustrated the complaints that everyone has about the 2019 Planeswalkers and Eternal formats. It's just like, okay, Narset resolved. I lose. You got it. Alright, so against this matchup, I'm going to cut the Force of Negations, because they do have a lot of creature threats. I'm going to cut one of my basic islands for the Volcanic Island. That's just an upgrade. Their deck might have 2 Wastelands. Stoneblade decks usually play like 0 or 2 Wasteland. What else do I want? Return to Nature is probably pretty good. Destroys their equipment. I don't want the 4th Terminus. Don't want Purge. Flusterstorm might be good. Definitely want Mentor. One of my biggest problems with this Bant Miracles main deck is that Entreat the Angels is the win con instead of Mentor. And I'm a big fan of Mentor and Miracles. Alright, Veil of Summer is probably not what we want it to be in this matchup. Like, there's going to be a lot of like tapping out and slamming threats into play. Alright, I think I can upgrade my Force of Wills to Red Blast, or at least a little bit. Going card negative is pretty rough here. Like, pitching to Force of Will versus paying 1 mana for Pyroblast. It's a much worse deal. Carpet would give me basically infinite mana, but having mana was not my problem last game. Them having Narset was my problem. So I could also bring in Flusterstorm. I saw Council's Judgment, Brainstorm. That's about it. And there are counterspells, obviously. Do I want both Return to Natures? And if I do, what's the cut? I could cut another Force. Cutting Forces used to be really easy against this deck, but now that they have Narset, that can just kill you. Alright, I'm going to try this. I would like to go first. I'll keep this hand. Alright, so I need a white source, but I do have Mentor here. which is one of the best cards in this matchup. So funny story, when I was putting this list together to make this video, I didn't even own an Entreat the Angels, despite playing a lot of Miracles, because I'm that convinced that Mentor is the better card. Obviously, it depends on how you build your deck and everything, but I prefer Mentor style win conditions. I wouldn't Red Blast a turn 1 Ponder anyway, so I don't feel bad for not running my thing out there. Gonna brainstorm here. I would really like to find a fetch land. I wonder what this pause is. Oh god. Everything has gone to shit. So there's an argument that I could have brainstormed off the volcanic island in case I drew Astrolabe, and I did consider that. When I'm brainstorming in this deck or pondering, I tend to play for the best play, not for the worst play. Like, the best play there was brainstorm, hit a fetch land, do everything I want to do. Alright, now I'm going to go after their ponders. Yeah, they shuffled last turn, and then they pondered again. Yeah, so the best outcome last turn would have been hitting a fetch land, and then I could fetch a basic, cast an Astrolabe if I drew it. And the hedge version was to play, like, the safer way to hedge your bets was to brainstorm off the volcanic island in case you drew Astrolabe so you could cast it right away. But I always play for the best case scenario in my early cantripping. Ugh. Yeah, sometimes your brainstorm just doesn't get there. My opponent's somehow also not casting spells. Alright, this is probably getting countered based on the fact they haven't done anything. Alright, maybe not. We hit a land drop, team. You're saying there's a chance. So we're going to draw Ice Fang Coatl next turn. Wow, please target me. Alright, they are targeting me. I have 2 Swords to Plowshare, so I can let this happen. I'm just going to draw the Coatl immediately. They could just leave my hand how it is. Alright, yeah, bottoming Mentor makes sense. But helping me shred through my deck when I'm already brainstorm locked, or yeah, I was brainstorm locked. I appreciate that. Alright, so they know about Teferi, so they have to have a Force of Will in their hand. Let's draw a white land. Oh, right, we knew Oko was on top, JK. Alright, so I could plow this. I could Coatl and hope to miracle a white land, but I think that's just terrible. Alright, I'm going to play Teferi. That has the highest upside. And there's no way to sequence this turn that plays around a counterspell. If they have it, they have it. They've got to have it, right? Like, what did they even keep in their 7-card hand that hasn't cast any spells yet this game? Alright, yep, they had the Force of Will. To the surprise of nobody. Alright, they don't know about Oko, though. They pitched Snapcaster Mage for that. Yeah, so they don't know about Coatl and Oko. They know about all these other cards. Bummer. Now they have a Teferi. What are they going to do with it? They could pick up their Stoneforge for tons of card advantage. Alright, that is what they decided to do. That's a tight play. I like it. Alright, kind of a tough spot here. I could play Oko, fetch Tropical Island, play Oko, attack Teferi with Astrolabe, but then I don't have white mana anymore. I could also just slam Jace and try to go coast to coast. I think Jace is a better bet. Alright, let the brainstorm party begin. Alright, Mentor's back. That's good news. I'll put these Terminuses on top. I can't flip them in my upkeep because they have Teferi, so that doesn't matter. But I'll be able to fetch them both away. Alright, so Snapcaster. They're brainstorming. Alright, hopefully it's time to go to Mentor Town, which is my favorite town. Alright, so we're going to draw the other Terminus plus 2 new cards, put the 2 Terminuses back. And really, really hope that Mentor resolves. Where's my Plains? Deck plays a Plains, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Alright. I could alternatively Oko here, because I only have one Mentor in my whole deck. Alright, whatever. There's Mentor. They had Force. That sucks. Alright, it's forced. Answer the Snapcaster and Ponder. At least we have some velocity going here. Red Blast, yes. Alright, so I can't cast this Force because of Teferi, but I'm going to draw Red Blast next turn. And then hopefully I can blast Teferi, cast Oko with Force of Will back up. Jace is still working. What did they pitch to that last Force? Oh, bummer. Alright, Jace is not working anymore. Jace is gone. Alright, so now I can fetch Mystic Sanctuary and rebuy cards. So that engine is online. Need some green in there. There's Oko. Make a food. I'm not ready to convert my Astrolabe yet because I've been using it pretty hard for mana. This game brought to you by Astrolabe. Alright, so I can fetch my Trop here and cast Icefang Coatl. Oh wait, I didn't want to do that. I wanted my Mystic Sanctuaries. Oh well. Committed to the line now. So I'm trying to bait their Force of Will with my Coatl here. Like if they have Force, I'm hoping they fight over this, if they think I'm digging for Force. Pitching the Oko because I already have one, and Brainstorm is the best card in Legacy. Alright, now we're pretty far ahead. Alright, and they agree. Yep, so both games so far came down to sticking a 3-mana Planeswalker and getting away with it. Alright, so them having Teferis and Narsets, does that make me want Force of Will more or less? Like Teferi, once it sticks, like if they stick Teferi and I draw Force the next turn, it basically duressed me. Though Force of Will is my best way to keep Teferi out of play in the first place. It's kind of an interesting back and forth on that one. I don't think that I want more Force of Wills in my deck. Though maybe I do. If this matchup is going to come down to just jamming 3-mana threats, like Oko, Teferi, and Mentor, maybe Force of Will is exactly what the doctor ordered. 2 Return to Natures might be too many. I have Snapcaster Mage plus the 1 to fight over their equipment, plus lots of removal to keep the creatures that carry the equipment out of line. So, yeah, maybe that's fine. Alright, let's try this. Alright, this hand functions. I'm so jealous that they get to play Prismatic Vista. That land was basically printed for me personally. I love basic lands in Eternal formats. Yeah, so the difference between having and not having Astrolabe has been pretty apparent in both games so far. Like this hand that I have right here, I have to fetch Tropical Island to cast this Coatl. Or I guess I could just Brainstorm. That's a playable Magic card, I've heard. I don't think I want to respond to their Brainstorm with my own. Like the only exciting draw would be Red Blast, and if I draw that, then I have to fetch Volcanic Island, and then I can't cast this Coatl. And it's kind of a mess. Adding the 4th color. So they fetched a 3rd blue source instead of their first white source. That's kind of suspicious. I'm thinking like Snapcaster Brainstorm or Vendilion Click maybe. Alright, come on, lands. Rutro. Alright, this time I will tap the Tropical Island in case I draw Astrolabe. If they have a soft counter like Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm, now's probably a good time to crack it off. I hope that they don't, because that would be really bad for me. Alright, that was instead really good for me. Alright, Terminus back in the deck. And Jace is a ways away as well. Alright, so I have Jace on top. If they don't do anything... Alright, yep, there's that Snapcaster Mage. So I could let them have their brainstorm, or I could just red blast the whole stack. I could also, like, plow the snap. Yeah, fetching red here is pretty rough because I have 3 white cards in my hand. That would shuffle away the Jace on top. Alright, I'm gonna let them have this. Like, I would hate to red blast this and they just, like, untap Jace or untap Narset. And I can Swords to Plowshares this thing if I need to. I could also just ignore Snapcaster Mage and stop attacking with my Coatl. Alright, there's still mono blue over there, so red Elemental Blast stock right now is through the roof. Okay. Alright, that's exactly what I was worried about and why I didn't blast the Snapcaster. It's likely they have interaction, or else why would they keep this mono blue hand? Alright, so force pitching to Fairy. So I could brainstorm now looking for one of my 3 forces, or I could just go to my turn, Mystic Sanctuary, Red Blast to the top, and then brainstorm. Which I think I want to maximize my chances here. So I'm going to brainstorm now. Alright, so I found Ponder and Astrolabe, which both let me... I did the brainstorm because if I find any cantrip, I can still make the Sanctuary play, plus I get looks at Force now. Alright, so I'm not going to need Misty Rain Force next turn. So Mystic Sanctuary is free. Astrolabe costs 1. I'll have 2 mana left over. So that's not enough to really do anything else. So I'll put one of these plows under the Misty. Alright, they're going to get Jace for at least a little while. And we'll see how good this Mystic Sanctuary is. Yes. If I had 1 more mana, I could check with Teferi if they have counterspells or not, but unfortunately I don't. So I could also Ponder looking for extra protection. But what extra protection would I be looking for? It's just the 3 Force of Wills. I didn't bring in the Flusterstorm. My Veil of Summers aren't in the deck right now. I think I should probably still Ponder first, because I'm going to do that this turn anyway. Alright, I don't actually want any of this stuff. Alright, cool. We cleared the Jace. And I'm going to not attack with my Snake, because just trading that for Snapcaster is a fine deal. I am not the beatdown deck. I'll save my Swords to Plowshares for a bigger threat. Lame. Alright. So they're just full Planeswalker control right now. Alright, nice. So I can cast Teferi. and hope it resolves. But if it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. Because we got a 2-for-1 and killed their Jace. Would have been insane if that had resolved, though. If Teferi resolved there, I would have bounced my Astrolabe and replayed it, and we would have essentially drawn 3 cards. Targeting Ponder, that's fine. I really don't want to spend my Plow on Snapcaster Mage when I know that Stoneforge Mystic is a card they play. They did not shuffle their deck. Green, blue, blue. Alright, so I could Elk up immediately and start the beats, or I could food. If I Elk, then I can't. Then I'm a turn away from Entreat the Angels. I think I still want to Elk. Get the beats going. Like Oko's kind of filling the role right now that I like Mentor to fill in my Miracles decks of pay 3 mana, start winning the game. Like my opponent has some cards in their hand, but this game has gotten scrappy. They did not shuffle. Alright, there's the Stoneforge Mystic. Getting Batterskull. Alright, so I could Mystic Sanctuary right now, get back a Pyroblast, and then make sure my Plow resolves next turn. This would be a pretty good spot for Terminus, but there's not one in my graveyard. I could also just get Brainstorm and try to pull ahead. I think I might like that better. No, but I want the... I'll take the Pyroblast. Like, I didn't get Brainstorm because I don't have any extra cards right now. Like, I need this Delta to cast my Swords to Plowshares. And I need the Swords to Plowshares to remove the thing, so Brainstorm doesn't actually make any meaningful changes to my hand. Alright, food. And keep the pressure on. So they can hardcast Batterskull, but it would immediately become an Elk. I'm not going to blast this because I don't care. Like, I'd much rather blast a Narset, Teferi, Jace, fresh Snapcaster out of the hand. Alright, there's the Batterskull. Ooh, there's the Snapcaster. Alright, so Snapcaster, that's a juicy one. It's pretty close to Demonic Tutor here. So I could Plow the Germ. I could Ponder. What am I looking for if I Ponder? Return to Nature, probably. Maybe I will snap Ponder to get this started. Ponder is better than Brainstorm here because it sees more things. Alright, who does Terminus help more? Probably not me. Alright, so I could get pretty deep into my deck here. Like if I draw Astrolabe, that finds me the land, then I have Terminus on top. If I Elk the I actually think this is probably good. Oh, I don't have any basics. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle my deck. I tapped all my basics. Alright, Counterspell's pretty good. Alright, Batterskull's an Elk. You can't equip creatures to different creatures, so the germ falls off right away. And I'm just going to pass from here, because I'm happy to trade my board for theirs when I have Oko and they don't. Ponder's not the fight I'm looking for. I want to stop a payoff. They didn't shuffle. Swords to Plowshares. Alright. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Flusterstorm would destroy me here. Alright, but they didn't have it. And there's the Red Blast. Oh, they had Force Will. Gross. Alright. Oko's gonna have to be in hero mode here. Though they are now Hellbent, so Terminus off the top probably wins this game. Easy trade there. Nice. Plow that. Elk this. I'm not going to attack this turn because Oko being alive is my advantage right now. Alright, now I can attack because Oko's at 4. If they drew another Snapcaster, I think they would have pondered on their own turn, so I just don't think they have that. And now they're under the gun. That was a good draw. Alright, I think they drew another cantrip. Yeah, that's the only reason to fetch right there. They have so much mana, they could cast any real spell they draw. Council's Judgment is probably one of their best draws to clear the Oko. Or Sword of Fire and Ice would be a nightmare. Okay. There's Stoneforge Mystic. It's probably going to get the Sword of Fire and Ice. Alright. Wow, running that out was a huge mistake. Now I can just Elk it. Terminus. Alright, so I'm going to Elk their sword. I end up losing my... Oh wait, these are green. I can just block. Alright. Yeah, alright. I'm used to Sword of Fire and Ice just making creatures stone unblockable against me, because all my creatures are always blue in decks I play. But, yep, these foods are green. So this one's actually got super interesting. As the classic Legacy engine versus the new Legacy engine. This is tenuous for both of us, though. Like, if nobody draws a spell for the rest of the game, I'm ahead. But we both have so many things that could just come off the top and end the game. Alright, so they've equipped Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to double block. Hope they didn't draw a removal spell. Alright, they didn't. That was a clean trade. This is a lot worse. Jite's bad news. Terminus. Ugh. I've drawn a lot of lands, and they've drawn a lot of spells consecutively here. Alright, so if I elk the Jite, I'm just going to make a food. So I'm in kind of a holding pattern here where they have to decide how frisky they want to get with their equipments. Like if they equip just sword, then I can chump. Alright. So they're attacking Oko and me. I'm going to block this one because I don't want them drawing extra cards. It'd be a great time for a Terminus deck. So I have to elk their sword here, which means that I lose Oko. But it means they're not drawing extra cards. This was a close one. It's starting to slip away though. And Terminus can still turn it around, but now we need like Terminus plus a replacement threat. Oh my god, Nihiri the Lithomancer. Alright, yeah. We ended up in a position where I was tenuously ahead, and my opponent drew 3 awesome spells while I drew 1,000 lands. Now we draw the Terminus right when it's too late. Yeah, now they have this crazy Planeswalker in play. Yeah, even if they just didn't have Nihiri, we might be okay here. Oh no, is this Narset? Oh, Ashiok. That's so much worse. Alright, yeah, now we're just dead. Yeah, that was close, but they came out of the top deck war better than I did, which is fine. That's how a lot of the mid-range blue matchups play out in Legacy. Like, you get to a point where it's like, oh, or how Miracles matchups anyway, where it's like, okay, I didn't die. Now I'm only slightly behind. Now I'm slightly ahead, and then someone's going to draw a card that breaks it one way or the other. And that time it just was not us. Alright, so we got a super awkward one here. No cantrips, 2 spells we can't cast, and Terminus. I'm going to ship that. Oh no, actual Zero Lander. Alright, I'll keep this one. I'll send probably Oko, and god, I hate that this Mystic Sanctuary is in my hand, but I can't ship it. I'll send both Okos to the bottom, because we're going to have to cantrip our way out of this anyway. Like, the Flooded Strand shuffling right away puts the Okos back into the mix. It's not like in Standard where, like, if you bottom a card, it's just gone for the game. Oh, that's funny, because it's turn 1. I was confused that my Astrolabe triggered Terminus, but I guess that is how that works. I'm just going to play Mystic Sanctuary as a land drop. I'm not sure that's correct over brainstorming and trying to hit a real land. But I like to save my brainstorms for as long as possible. Alright, now I get to play the game and I still have brainstorm. Now I'm glad I played Sanctuary. Oh, we're playing against JPA. He is a known show and tell wizard. This matchup's historically pretty tough. And he's one of the best players on the planet with the deck. Alright, show me how I'm dead. Alright, I wasn't dead. Yuck. If we can stick this to Fairy at some point, we might be okay, but that's probably not going to happen. Teferi has changed the dynamic of this matchup a lot. However, there are no Narsets in this deck, and this Teferi is not particularly useful. Alright, there's Sneak Attack. Let's see, do they have the Lotus Petal also? Oh, they had Simian Spirit Guide, gross. Alright. There's Grizzlebrand. Guess I'll play this when he can't draw 7 in response. Oh, had Daze. My god. Alright. Yeah, sometimes your show and tell opponent has everything, which is just how this deck works. Yeah, so he has 17 cards in hand, which means that one of them is probably Force of Will, and one of the other ones is probably blue. I think that's a safe bet. And this is like a turbo version with Simian Spirit Guide and Daze. Like if you want to really punish Miracles, this is how you build your deck. I guess I have to attempt the play that I have available, though I'm sure it won't work. Yep. Alright, we're dead. As we technically weren't all the way dead, they had to have found another monster in those 14 cards. But I have faith that they did. Alright, so the red package comes in. Cut one of my basic islands for that. Flusterstorm, one of the best cards against this deck. Because it's hard to win a counter war against Flusterstorm. Terminus, pretty bad. I have Teferi and Oko that can answer a just show and tell Emrakul, but that's never how this works anymore. They always have so much more than that. In Shave on Swords to Plowshares, you don't want to go down to none because they have Arcane Artisan now. Containment Priest is here for this matchup. Mentor gives me a way to win the game quickly when I'm not dead. Return to Nature can destroy a what's-its-face sneak attack. Alright, so I have 8 cards in. These 5 can be cut. I don't think I'm winning with Entreat the Angels either. Like, I gotta get like Planeswalker control, take over with Mentor. All these counter spells. Veil of Summer is probably great. Alright, what's bad here? I can't cut any counterspell. The Coatl is a little slow, but it's a flash threat. It's not much of a threat, but it is a threat. Jace costs a lot of mana. And I gotta cut one more. I guess it is another Swords to Plowshares. Because Swords is only really good against Arcane Artisan. You can't target Emrakul with it, and if you target Grizzlebrand with it, they'll just draw 14 in response. So it's not a real answer. Even if it resolves, it still didn't actually do much. Alright, I'll try this configuration. This hand does not do anything. This hand's pretty great. So I'm going to bottom the Oko because I have Force of Will plus Containment Priest is ready to go here, and the Astrolabe replaces itself. Alright, so Island Ponder, they did not shuffle. I want to play around days with this priest if I can. So I'm going to just wait one more turn before slamming it. I could slam Snapcaster right now, though, and get my clock started. I think I might do that. Because you do have to win this game somehow, and you do not have infinite time. You have very little time, in fact. Alright, there's the Arcane Artisan. That one dodges Containment Priest, so it's a huge jerk. Alright, that was lucky. Alright, I'm going to Priest in response to this Preordain. I think they would have fought over Artisan if they had a counterspell. We're now pretty exposed to a Pyroclasm. Just have to hope he doesn't have it, I guess. Oh, Oko. They bottom topped with the Preordain. I could slam Oko here. I think I'd rather get ahead on cards with Astrolabe. I'd feel better with Flusterstorm in my hand. Alright, I guess I just have it all. I'm playing into days, though. Yep, there's the days. Alright, don't Pyroclasm me. Alright, that's the first half of a good draw. We need a blue card or a land to go with that. See this pressure with the early Snapcaster Mage, plus the fact that they have this Ancient Tomb that they need for mana? It's kind of a 1-2 punch that's really pressuring their resources. Alright, that was good. It doesn't counter a Pyroclasm. It does counter Arcane Artisan. Alright, got that one. Alright, so days, huh? Do I bring in Carpet of Flowers because of days? I don't think so. Just doesn't seem great. Also, Celestial Purge might be just better than Return to Nature because it exiles Grizzlebrand or Sneak Attack, and this only hits Sneak Attack. I don't think he's going to bring in Blood Moon against me, because I have Astrolabes. Yeah, so I'm going to switch that to a Purge. Purge is also better on the mana, I think. Or is it exactly the same? No, there's one dual, one basic, plus the Astrolabes. It's exactly the same on the mana. And Oko's good. Mentor's good. Yeah, I think this is the plan. I have 5 spot removal spells plus my counter spells for Artisans. All right, let's go. All right, so on the draw, we're going to keep this. There's counter spells and cantrips. I'm going to Astrolabe first. Or maybe, no, I should Ponder first. Ponder sees more cards, and Astrolabe isn't a real, or Mystic Sanctuary isn't a real second land drop. It's a fake one. It's an end-step Brainstorm. Yeah. End-step Brainstorm is only correct in combo decks and only when you're really close to going off, so we should be a little worried about what they're presenting here. All right. Feel a little better about that situation. Feel a lot better now that I have this Flooded Strand up. So I can Brainstorm in the end step. Or I could just jam this Astrolabe now. There's a second Astrolabe on top. No, I'm not going to play into Daze. So I have Force of Negation plus Brainstorm and Pyroblast right now. All pretty good. If they just do nothing, I can cast Coatl. I have to get my Trap to do that, but I think that's okay. Come on, real land. Alright, that wasn't the real land I was looking for. But I can cast Astrolabe still. I guess I should have cast Astrolabe first in case I drew an untapped land. Alright, Preordained's fine. They bottomed. Alright, so he probably has an A but not a B here. Whatever that means. Like he has either an enabler or a payoff, but not both. So at the end of this turn, if he doesn't do anything again, I'm going to Brainstorm, Snap, Brainstorm. Or I could just Coatl again. That's probably better. Never mind. I'll save my Snapcasters. I am going to Brainstorm, though. Let's just keep some momentum going. All right, that was great. So put back these 2 lands. This hand is a serious wall. I hope we don't just die somehow in the end step. I don't know what they could even do, but I hope it doesn't happen. Alright, so Containment Priest, obviously one of the best cards that there is. Next turn, I'll try to sneak my Teferi in. Yeah, Priest also doubles my clock. Alright, so if I cast Teferi, I can still Veil, Blast, and Force. Yeah, that seems worth doing. And once this is in play, they're never resolving anything. Like, if they can't fight back, then they're never getting a monster into play. It's just not going to happen. Alright, so they have a Reb. Can't be countered this turn. Alright, that does work, right? Spells you control can't be countered this turn. Okay. And then separate sentence, you gain Hexproof from blue and black. Another Pyroblast. Okay. That's fine. I can't fight over that anymore. I have Hexproof from blue and black. I still have Force plus Pyroblast up, and they're down to 4 cards in hand. And they have to get through Containment Priest before they do anything. Alright, mush with all my creatures. Another Astrolabe. Another Pyroblast. Alright, we got a pretty big wall up here. And we got it. Nice. Yeah, that matchup's pretty much just about getting over the first 2 or 3 turns. Like, if you keep hitting your land drops, you can apply pressure. You'll win eventually. Alright, so we're on the draw here in round 3. I'm going to keep. Hope they're not a Wasteland deck. Alright, Wasteland decks don't play Portent. Should be safe. This is another Miracles mirror of some variety. Obviously not the full mirror because we don't play Portent. Yikes. Alright. I'm going to save my Brainstorm as long as possible. Alright, they shuffled their library and they still hit their second land drop. Alright, sweet. Now we're in business. I hope they don't know how to spell pierce this. Alright, they didn't. So right now, this Brainstorm I could have cast on turn 1 or turn 2, but I haven't cast it yet because I'm saving it for something better. Alright, so I'm going to plow this thing in response to Portent. And this is a Miracles mirror, so there's not going to be a whole lot of targets for plow. I hope we just draw a land and can slam Oko while they're tapped out here. That would be the punish. Alright, that didn't happen. Come on, lands. Okay. So put these Terminuses back in the deck. Yeah, it sucks we missed our window to slam Oko while they were tapped out. Counterbalance. Alright, that card is tough, but it's not what it once was. Alright, so I'm going to fetch. I think I just get Tundra here. Coatl. Alright, so I'm going for Broko. I have 2 Force of Wills, so if we can dodge this counterbalance. Force pitching Snapcaster. Force pitching Coatl. Fetch. They just blind revealed Force of Will to counter my Force of Will. Fucking counterbalance. Oh, that was abject misery. Yeah, with the Force of Will on the stack, there were probably 3 cards in their deck. Well, and now we know they have Force of Will in their hand too, so hope they don't have a blue card to go with it. Alright, so they have Force but no blue card. They're drawing Terminus. And we're drawing nothing. Mystic Sanctuary, what do? You get back Brainstorm? I probably should have fetched. Oh no, I didn't have 3 islands. I still don't have 3 islands. Alright. Glad I looked. So if I get a basic island here, Mystic Sanctuarying Brainstorm back is kind of dangerous because they have counterbalance. Especially now that they know that I'm drawing Brainstorm. Like, they could set it up, but if they don't set up exactly that, or like slam Narset or something, then this Brainstorm could be really good. I'm gonna cast it on their turn though, because I don't want them to be able to just hard cast Force of Will. Alright, another Terminus on top. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Those two back. End of turn, Surprise Snake. They're probably going to shuffle in response. Or they'll just leave Terminus there as an answer to the snake. Interesting decision. I'm glad I don't have to make that one. Alright, so they decided to just Terminus the snake. And now they have to decide if they want to keep the Terminus there and let me draw another card. Alright, they did. Alright, cool. And now Mystic Sanctuary's online. We had to redraw those plows, which kind of sucks, but we got all the way through them in one turn. Alright, so they have an end step Terminus for us. See you later, Snake. Alright, they found a blue card to go with their force, but it's Ponder, so they're just going to cast it. Alright, they did not shuffle their library, so I'm not going to use Mystic Sanctuary this turn because they probably floated a card that they would want to keep there, a like Sensical mana cost. So I'm just going to dance around the counterbalance a little bit, as much as I can. Like, I suspect that Ponder was on top. Yeah, it kind of sucks we're not getting ahead, but neither are they. But counterbalance is definitely showing its strength right now. Like, counterbalance is the reason Oko's not in play. They blind hit a 3-outer to counter our Oko. And now it means I can't get my velocity if they know what's on top of their deck. Alright, they don't know what's on top of their deck right now. Alright, so after they reveal for counterbalance, I might fetch for the Brainstorm. Alright, so Ponder. We know Brainstorm's going to be one of the cards. Ooh, that's juicy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, we don't have quite enough to stick this to Fairy, and we know that they're holding Force of Will. Alright, so I could Brainstorm. They might fetch in response. I think it's worth doing. If I can clear these plows from my hand. Alright, so they have a new card on top, and Misty Rainforest is in their hand now. Alright, this Brainstorm will probably counter my Brainstorm. I have to decide how much I care about that. I've decided I care about that. Alright, big stack energy. Oh no. Alright, so they put... Okay. I'm not gonna lie, haven't played Legacy much since Mystic Sanctuary was printed. I should not have forced there because the Sanctuary plus Counterbalance interaction is totally broken. Alright, good to know. And now I know they're also drawing Force of Will. Or they have Force in their hand. Don't think I can win this game anymore. I think I have to try to bait them next turn with Brainstorm. But that doesn't even do anything. Maybe I should have Counterbalance in my deck. Like, Counterbalance fell out of favor because without Sensei's Top, it's really hard to set up, but Mystic Sanctuary really changes that math a lot. Alright, so there's the Brainstorm. They haven't presented a threat yet. So I'm going to try to dance this Teferi into play because that's one of my only ways to take this game back. We know they have 2 Force of Wills in hand. Alright, I have a Snapcaster Mage. I can pressure their end step a little bit. Oh no, I'm getting entreated. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and we know they have 2 forces in hand. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so I can Brainstorm in response, see what they do. I need to draw a million forces here. Alright, so I can Force of Negation, pitching Teferi. I guess I just hardcast Snapcaster first. So I have Force of Will in my graveyard. So they had Force of Will on top. And they also have the one in their hand. Oh, it's my turn. I can't pitch to Force of Negation. Alright, yeah, we're dead. Alright, so in the mirror, Red Blast, best card. Flusterstorm is a wonky one, because, like, sometimes it's exactly what you need, like in those early exchanges over Planeswalkers, but into the late game, it just doesn't do anything at all. I love Mentor as a way to pressure. This is probably one of the best matchups for Veil of Summer. Though, that assumes I'm being proactive, but with my Okos, maybe I am the more proactive one. I don't think I want a third. I have the 2 main already. Terminus's stock goes way down. I could bring in a Return to Nature. Could try to clip Counterbalance with it. I could fizzle a Snapcaster trigger with it. Swords to Plowshare is much worse. Cut one of my islands because the Volk is coming in. So white card's out, red card's in. Generally the formula for this matchup. I don't think this matchup is what Carpet of Flowers is for. I've seen people bring Surgical in Miracles mirrors. I've also seen them not do it. I generally don't. Is Flusterstorm better than Force of Negation? No, because Force of Negation can hit counterbalance. Alright, let's do this. One land, Red Blast, no cantrips. That's a mulligan. This hand is good. I'm going to bottom one of the Okos and try to win the game with the other one. So I can just fetch my 3 dual lands and have perfect mana. Hope I don't get back to basics. Mystic Sanctuary being in every Miracles deck now is interesting because it makes back to basics a little worse. So I don't know how much we need to think about that anymore. It's pretty safe to assume that it was just in every deck for a while. Alright, Portent. Alright, they didn't shuffle. They like it. Ooh, Ponder. Alright, so it's a good time to ponder. I don't want to treat the angels at all. I do want Brainstorm and Snapcaster though. Or at least Brainstorm. I can decide on Snapcaster when we get there. I really want another land, so I can play this Oko and defend it with Veil. They did not shuffle again. Yes, I'll take the Snapcaster. I'm going to Brainstorm in their end step. Alright, so that just snap resolved. Alright, entreat into the deck. This force can help Oko resolve. Snapcaster or Ponder goes away. Who is it? I think Ponder. Land? It's not a land. So I'm not going to cast it. I will Brainstorm again though. Oh, that's rough. Alright, so Force of Negation, that's too many forces. I'll bury those two. I'll get the Tropical Island, and then Brainstorm again. I very much want to hit my land drops. Alright, we hit our land drops. So Mystic Sanctuary can go back in, and one of these Coatls. Then I'll cast the other Coatl. Or I could hold it as juicy force fodder. Alright, is it Jace time? It's Mentor time. Alright, so that's an easy pitch Coatl. Alright, so now I can Oko with protection. Oh no, I can't. I don't have double green. Alright, so I'll get... I could get Mystic Sanctuary, target Brainstorm. I'm going to do that. Mystic Sanctuary targets Brainstorm. Then I can cast my Snake to get it, or I can just pass. Yeah, that was rough. Not having double green. The no Astrolabe, huge problems. Coming in hot here. Alright, I don't really like end step brainstorming, so I won't do it. Okay, sweet. I don't need a second Oko, and I don't even know if Veil of Summer is good anymore. The Red Blast lets me slam the first Oko with protection. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the Veil of Summer. Or at least leave it on top. It's not gone. Alright, I'm ahead right now because I'm clocking and they're not, so I'm not going to take any actions unless I have to. Alright, AK for 1 is fine. I probably want to Mystic Sanctuary my Red Blast back here. I'm playing this game on 0 basic lands, which is kind of terrifying. Snapcaster. Alright, they're going to get away with that. Targeting what? Is that Brainstorm? Okay. Alright, it's Oko time. Please resolve. So I could Red Blast this, and I'm going to. Because if they find Red Blast, I can't protect Oko from Red Blast with Red Blast. And if they have a force, you know, whatever. Oh, that was a different Brainstorm? Oh, they Brainstorm from hand. That wasn't the Snap Brainstorm yet. Gotcha. Alright, they found a Force of Will. I can't pitch because it's my turn. Alright, fine. They pitched Ponder. I'm not going to attack because I'm losing that race. I probably could have danced around that a little longer. Like use Snapcaster on their turn. Alright, so they're picking up Ponder. Block. Yeah, this basic free lifestyle makes Astrolabe a dead draw. Yuck. Alright, AK for 2. That engine's starting to get online. Well, that's the one I can't beat, so unfortunately we lose our Snapcaster. Let's just draw Jace or Oko off the top. Shit. Don't even have Mystic Sanctuaries to get with that, so I'm not going to bluff anything by playing it. AK for 3. Yeah, they're a real miracle deck over there. Look at them drawing all these cards. Pretty sure we're on no outs at this point. Unless they just really, really bricked. Snap accumulated knowledge for 2 or for 3. Opponent has 8 cards in their hand. Alright. We don't need to stick around for that. Yeah, so in the Miracles mirrors, like, there's a spectrum of how you can build Miracles. You can build it to be really good against creatures, or really good against control. And the way that I like to play Miracles tends to be worse in Miracles mirrors, but is really good against all the nonsense in the format. And this one is built kind of closer to the way I would build the deck normally. Like, it has Okos instead of Mentors. Like, I would just have 3 Mentors here, probably no green cards. Or fewer green cards. Veil of Summer is worth bringing in. I really don't like Entreat the Angels. It always, my opponents always have it like in my end step when I'm dead. I always have it like turn 1. Alright, this is a keeper. Here's our turn 1 Entreat the Angels, right on brand. Alright, I'm going to Astrolabe first. Let's make sure our colors are online. Our opponent's name is Strom. Do you think they're playing Storm? So far they could be. In Bloodstained Mire, Underground Sea Ponder are all Storm cards. Or cards that are in Storm. Obviously none of those are purely Storm cards. They did not shuffle. Bummer. Alright, time to look for some counterspells with all these ponders. None of these are counterspells. Also, none of these are. That one is. Let's see if we still have it in our hand next turn. Or if we get it next turn. I don't think a Storm player would go off against a Miracles player who just pondered twice this quickly without protection. Ooh, maybe there's some sort of control deck. Oh, they hit Oko and Counterspell. My best cards. Why didn't you hit Entreat the Angel? Alright, so I'm just going to shove Teferi here. They're looking more like Grixis control at this point. I'm going to pick up my Astrolabe. Get a bunch of extra cards off that. Hymn to Turok, not traditionally a main deck Storm card. Oh, just Grixis? No, Tropical Island? Oh, because you want to hit me again. That makes sense. Ugh. They took my 2 cantrips, leaving me with the bullshit Entreat the Angels that I hate. Alright, we can make 0 Angels in their end step if we want to. Yeah, both of those hymns hit pure gas when our hand had cards we could live without, but it didn't hit any of them. Oko? Oh, Jace is good too, though. Alright, Jace. I'm gonna brainstorm these miracles back into my deck. Normally, I would plus on an empty board so Jace doesn't get bolted, but they have Snapcaster anyway, so they could attack plus bolt to kill Jace. So I'm just gonna get max card selection out of this. Ooh, Veil of Summer is nice. Alright, so difficult questions for powerful wizards. Definitely Terminus going back, and probably this Force of Will. Like, I don't have a white source I can fetch. There's only one Tundra, and this is not a Flooded Strand. So just slamming Entreat on top isn't really an option. So I think I want to save the Entreat for next turn, because I do have to win this game somehow. I know I say that a lot, but it is always true. You have to win the game somehow. That's Magic. Alright, who they attack here will tell me if they have Bolt or not. If they had Bolt, though, they would have bolted pre-combat, so they knew what they were up against. Alright, they're pressuring Jace. So they might have Kolaghan's Command, but not Bolt. I would love for them to have Kolaghan's Command, because I have Veil of Summer. And I do have a basic forest in the deck to cast it. Oh yeah. Let's find the forest. And Karush. That's the full value draw card. Save my permanents. Veil of Summer. I could, no, I do have to brainstorm. Never mind. I was going to say I could plus to protect Jace, but I don't care, I'm pretty sure. Would have liked to find a blue card there, but oh shit, I didn't even put Entreat back. I'm the dumbest person on the planet. Alright. Well, hard mode. I got so excited that we were going to win that I just forgot to win. I do that a lot when I'm recording. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Alright, so now we get to play on hard mode. I think I just forced this. Or do I think they're more likely to him or ponder? I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to fetch a Mystic Sanctuary. Put a ponder on top. And then force this thing. Wow, Veil of Summer doing work. Alright, I might be a little bit convinced that Veil of Summer is a good card. Oh, Oko Brainstorm. I think I want all of this stuff. Alright, so if I bounce Snapcaster Mage, that will draw me Oko. And then I can brainstorm. Well, I definitely want to do this, so let's clear that out. So then I can cast Oko. Make a food. And then I can fetch for Veil of Summer with Mystic Sanctuary and then brainstorm it into my hand and entreat on top if they try to like snap K command or whatever. Alright, there's the K command. Now we should win the game. Oh wait, we still don't have double white. Never mind. Wow, this deck really sucks without Astrolabe. Alright, so we'll get Mystic Sanctuary. Put Veil of Summer on top. Brainstorm. Alright, they just backed it up. That's fair. Yeah, so this card is barely even castable in this deck. Jeez, this should just be a Mentor. I'm off it. The first change I'm making to this is turning Entreat into Mentor. Alright, so once again we bring in our red package. Flusterstorm is good here because clipping a Thoughtseize or Hymn to Turok is a huge game. Terminus, not super exciting. Swords to Plowshares is medium minus. They only showed me Grixis colors, so I'm not going to worry about like Leovold specifically. Ice Fang Coatl getting down and dirty with their Snapcaster Mages is kind of fun. Oh, Mentor obviously coming in. Purge can get rid of Liliana's. I don't know if they would bring in Blood Moon against me. Veil of Summer was just messed up. They have so many discard spells. I'm into that. Alright, so cut a basic island. I need 2 more cuts. Probably Force of Negation. Maybe 1 Force of Negation, 1 Force of Will. No, Force of Will can help me get proactive and resolve my 3 mana threats. So Force of Will is better, even though it's less hard castable. Alright, so between Veil of Summer, Pyroblast, and Flusterstorm, I have 7 ways to interact with them on 1 mana and try to stick my threats in there. The last question is if I want to leave in 1 Terminus or leave in a 3rd Swords to Plowshares. You do need some removal, because with Baleful Strix and Snapcaster Mage, they do have incremental damage that builds up, and that's mostly how they win. They sometimes have a Gurmag Angler or 2. So Swords to Plowshares hits Snapcaster Mage, while Celestial Purge hits Liliana. They both hit Baleful Strix, Gurmag Angler. So there's a little tension there. I think I just want the 3rd Swords. Is that even right? I don't know. That's a tough call. It's close. I'm going to bring in the Purge, as Liliana is a really difficult card for Miracles to beat. That is Liliana the last hope, not of the Veil, though these decks could have either or both. But they almost certainly have last hope. They might have Veil. Well, we have the Veil of Summer and a bunch of cantrips. I'm going to keep it. Hope that they have Hymn to Turok, but not Thoughtseize. Alright, that's not Thoughtseize mana. It's not Hymn mana either. So we're pretty safe from discard for a little while here. I could slam this Astrolabe, so I think I will. Spell Piercing this would be pretty smart. They didn't do it though. I don't know if they have Spell Pierce, but they could have done that. Alright, there's Brainstorm. I probably wasn't going to Pyroblast that anyway. I'm glad the Astrolabe is down. Uh-oh. We could get Thoughtseized. Lame. Alright, so now they have the interesting choice. Do they take the card that they actually care about? No, they took the Veil. Alright, that's the one that interacts with them the most brutally. Alright, so I did fail to play around Thoughtseize there. I accept full responsibility. Alright, I'll grab this tropical island and cast my Ponder. Oh, Mentor. Big fan. I'm going to put Mentor 3 down and sculpt my hand just to something that can fight over a Mentor. Though we have no defense from him to Turok right now, and they know it. I guess they don't know what I just pondered into or what I drew, but they know I can't veil it. Ugh. Yep, there's that. Hitting 2 lands. That's either the best or worst thing that could happen, so let's find out which one. Oh, I should have just left up Snapcaster. That was bad. Okay, so I want every single one of these cards in my hand, but I don't get them all. Alright, so I'm going to have to slow this down a little bit. I guess if... No, I draw the forest, I slam Oko. Oh, if they have Red Blast, we're so dead. Gross. Okay. We're very dead. So I don't think I can afford to draw a forest here, and Mentor is not a good card right now. Alright, Brainstorm is a magic card that exists. I should probably cast it in case I hit like Astrolabes or some way to get velocity. Hit my land drops, you know. Alright, let's see what's left in the tank over there for them. In a single Snapcaster Mage at this point keeps Jace from resolving. Like Spell Pierce stops Jace, another Red Blast just from the hand stops Jace. They have a lot of ways to stop this Jace, but it is my best plan. Need a Haymaker. Drown in the lock. Whoa. Alright. Oh, we're all in. It's Haymaker time. Baleful Strix was their Haymaker. Okay. Alright, so I'm not going to shuffle my library. Hopefully they don't have discard spells, but they always do. We might actually cast Entreat the Angels this game, team. So this is going to draw the Jace, and then Entreat is next in line. Oh, are they fighting over this? Because that would be great. Alright, deal. So now we slam Jace. Alright, they're hellbent. Let's see if this Entreat the Angels can win the game. They pitched Brazen Borrower. Oh, baby. Alright, so we get to make 2 Angels here. Let's hope they didn't draw Force of Will. Alright, cool. Entreat the Angels. Are you gonna prove to me that you're playable now? Because I'm still not convinced. Yuck. Alright, so one is dead, and the other is trades with Strix. Yeah, you don't attack there. You're not winning that race. Alright, so if we can remove this Strix, this Angel can get to Pound Town. But in the meantime, it is bricking their offense, at least until they draw one of their thousands of removal spells they play. Flusterstorm, these are not good cards. I gotta be more proactive than that. That counts. So I could Snapcaster Red Blast. I think Ponder is better though. Or I could just hold up Snap Veil of Summer. That sounds pretty good. Right, let's hope I'm rewarded and that they don't have just Red Blast in their hand. Alright, I've been drowned in the lock. Alright, my Force of Will is gone. That basically wasn't in my hand anyway. Gotcha. Alright, playing out my land because Hymn to Tarak can take it. If they only had Thoughtseize or Duress, I would leave that in my hand. Narset. Yuck. Alright, Force of Will is in their hand now. So I think I just have to fetch, put Pyroblast on top. Oh wait, no, I put Entreat on top, right? Just keep slamming Angels into play. Okay, so the Mystic Sanctuary endgame with Entreat the Angels is kind of spicy. Where you just do, every fetch land becomes Entreat the Angels. That's pretty good. So do they have a blue card? They do. Alright. Force pitching Snapcaster Mage. Alright, I'm glad I forced that interaction. But still, nobody can attack. Yuck. Alright, now we're dead. So Jace bounces Angel, then their creatures can attack again. If I draw Snapcaster or Red Blast, I have to point it at Jace just so they don't run away with the game. I can't even take this pressure off myself. And we're just dead. Alright, next game. Yeah, I got comfortable when they played the turn 1 Volcanic Island, a little too comfortable, which let them cast a turn 2 Thoughtseize, which cleared the way for a turn 3 Hymn. They just played patiently and got super rewarded for it. Alright, I didn't see a Liliana. I did see lots of Snapcaster Mages. So I'm going to switch that back to a Plow. I don't want Rest in Peace. That's pretty good against me, too. Alright, let's jam. We're on the play now. On the play, I have this 4-color hand with Ponder in it. I'm going to keep this. Alright, so I'm going to get the Tropical Island, because that one casts Icefang Coatl most reliably. Alright, that was pretty much the perfect top 3 cards. Just 2 more lands is what I mean by that. Alright, so I'm going to play the Volcanic Island, save my fetch land and my Brainstorms for when they're super juicy. End step Snake here. Oh, Astrolabe. I like that. I think I'm just going to cast Astrolabe and then have another Snake ready. This draws me tons of cards, just parading cantrips onto the stack. Alright, Flusterstorm, I'm ready for a Hymn to Turok now. I wonder if I'm supposed to beat up on this. I'm going to do it. Maybe I should have Flusterstorm that. Yeah, that would have been a really good spot for Flusterstorm. But like I said, Flusterstorm hits the discard spells. So maybe the Red Blast was right. Like if I get to Fluster a Hymn here, this will have worked out really well. Or if they just have nothing. I'm cool with that too. Land. Alright, so it's time to cash in one of these Brainstorms we've been squirreling. Yikes. Alright, so Teferi's not happening for a while. Neither is Snapcaster Mage. I'll hold up all this disruption though. Like we are ahead. It just really sucks to miss land drops in this matchup. Right on time, every time. If they have Flusterstorm, they're going to win the fight. Or I can Fluster their Hymn, so we're still good. I couldn't Fluster their Flusters, but I can Fluster their Hymn. Alright. Many objects on the stack. They can't Red Blast a Flusterstorm. That Fluster did deny me the cantrip off the Veil, but that's fine. I think I'm just going to leave up Snap Veil instead of trying to Brainstorm for my land here. Like I can play a reasonable flash game with what's in my hand. Like if they Snapcaster Hymn this turn, I'm pretty sure I get to just blow them into the Stone Age with Veil. Alright, Ponder, sure. They did not shuffle. Alright, so I'm going to Snake in the end step. Alright, we're through our Brainstorm now. Alright, found a land. And Mystic Sanctuary is online. I'm not going to try to shove Teferi into their open mana. I'm ahead, so they're going to have to take the first action. Then I'll try to jam the Teferi when they have less going on. Alright, I'll let them have that. Yep, targeting him. I was hoping for that. Alright, you have a force of will. I also have a force of will. I think I pitch to Fairy. Oh no, they had more. They also have Red Blast. Alright, so if I just counterspell their Pyroblast, that leaves me with Snapcaster in play. And I lose my Brainstorm. I think I'd rather have Brainstorm in hand than Snapcaster in play. Alright, so Mystic Sanctuary, you're going to regrow. I think I want the Veil. Because I already have a Brainstorm. No, maybe I do want Red Blast. Because Red Blast stops their Jaces and their real win the game threats. Alright, so Pyroblast resolves. Then counterspell this. And now we're racing. I have Brainstorm Red Blast in hand. I'm going to go for the Brainstorm. If I find Oko right now, that would be great. Alright, I'll hide these two Brainstorms. You can just plow their creature and hold up Red Blast. Like, discard's not even that devastating here. Him is just a 1-for-1. I can counter blue spells. K command, discard mode. Alright, yeah, can't counter that. You got me. Alright, they found a 2-for-1. Doing a pretty good job beating him down with their own Baleful Strix plan, though. I'm going to save this Brainstorm. Alright, now I'm going to fire one of these in. Force of Negation. Respond with the other one. That's in case I can counter this one. Alright, so I'm going to put back the Plains for sure, and the Snapcaster Mage. Alright, that's countered. Alright, so I have a fetch land now. I can get Mystic Sanctuary, or I could just draw the Snapcaster, depending on what they do. Like if they slam Jace here, I'm going to need my Red Blast. Otherwise, I'll just draw my Snapcaster. Snapcaster is in Demonic Tutor mode. Just every spell in my deck is also in my graveyard. And they're on an 11-turn clock. The race is on. And as soon as they do anything, the clock will be much smaller. Alright, please don't have a Red Blast. Alright, let's hope that wasn't bait, but I don't think it was. Alright, so I think I just put Counterspell in my hand here and lock it up. Alright, so Counterspell's in my hand. And it's not locked up. That was optimistic, but they are on a pretty quick clock, and I can counter their next relevant spell. Alright, they just packed it in. Nice. Out-controlled, out-blued, Mystic Sanctuary, too good. Alright, we're on the play with 2 lands, Astrolabe, and a bunch of Haymakers. I'll keep this. This is the type of hand that's really good against any fair deck, and we're just going to die immediately to any combo deck. I would really like to find a third land and a Force of Will in like my next couple cards. Alright, halfway there. Moment of truth, are we dead? Right, Tropical Island Ponder. This could be the mirror. It could be that Green Sun Zenith Oko deck that also did well at the Grand Prix. Alright, this is plenty of lands to work off of now. I have no spells to cast, which is pretty lame. I can start slamming Okos next turn. Come on, Force of Will. Whack. Alright, I think I am just going to slam an Oko, since I have so many of them. I guess like Bug Delver is a thing. I don't know. Getting this dazed would be lame. Getting it Force of Willed is fine. Like having it resolve is obviously great. Alright, let's just get the beatdown started. Like all my colors are in play. I have lots of lands, so I would hate to lose this Oko to just like an Abrupt Decay after making a food token to at least get a 3/3 turning. Or they didn't even brainstorm in response to Oko to look for an answer. They either don't care or they just don't play answers. So it could be a combo deck that just doesn't have Force of Will in it. Like it could be Storm. Storm does play Tropical Island sometimes. It's usually in the sideboard though. And like Food Chain plays Force of Will, so I don't think it's that. Alright, aggressive brainstorming now. Bayou. Alright, so they're some sort of full bug deck. The like 4 and 5 color blue decks don't usually have Bayou, I don't think. Maybe one? I don't know. Alright, Thoughtseize. Joke's on you. My hand has... They're going to take the Jace, actually, because the second Oko doesn't do anything and Snapcaster doesn't do anything. Jace is the only choice there. Alright, I would really like to draw a counterspell of some kind, or a Brainstorm. Not that. Not that at all. Alright, so I could just run out Snapcaster as Ambush Viper, turn this into an Elk, and they're on a 2-turn clock. I probably do just want to close this game out rather than plan for the second wave, because their second wave's probably better than mine. Like if I run out Snapcaster, put them to 4, then they would need to produce 2 blockers in the next 2 turns. Duress. Alright, so Oko is going away. Also, them having Duress makes me pretty sure they're a combo deck. Which means I definitely want to run out Snapcaster. Alright, I'm not getting a turn, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is just some sort of bug storm pile. Infernal Tutor. Looking for a second Lotus Petal. Past in Flames. Okay, so they can Thoughtseize themselves. Alright, yeah, I'm dead. Oh, they were targeted me. Whoops, I should have cast Snapcaster. I guess it doesn't change the clock if I survive this turn somehow. Though I can't imagine how it would. Alright. My Terminus is gone now. Are they just holding the tendrils? Oh yeah, they just had the tendrils in hand. Alright. You got me. Alright, Bug Storm. So, Veil of Summer is going to be the best it's ever been here. Surgical Extraction, Flusterstorm, all our red blasts. Mentor, we gotta close this game out. And Rest in Peace, probably pretty great. Alright, so that's 9 cards we want to bring in. I don't think a single spot removal graveyard spell is really what we're looking for. Alright, Entreat the Angels has to suck. I didn't see red lands, but that definitely doesn't mean they can't goblin. So plows are gonna get cut. I'll leave one. Like that green mana main deck, like lots of green mana, it makes me think they're gonna have Xantid Swarms. I'll go down to 1 Terminus just as a small hedge against goblins. All my flash threats are good. Jace might be a little slow. Want all my counter spells. Alright, I still have to cut one of the lands. And Oko is not phenomenal, but he is also one of my best win conditions. Probably better than Teferi. Alright, that's my plan. This hand is about as awkward of a hand as I'm comfortable keeping, but there it is. I'm going to lead on the Sanctuary because I have Force and Negation and I want to be able to fetch with my Brainstorm next turn. Or just hold up Coatl if they don't do anything. Though I imagine the chances of the Storm deck not doing anything are pretty low. Oh no. Alright, let's hope we're not dead on turn 2. Because we can actually surprise answer this thing. Like if they just get cute and attack, but we're not dead. Alright, hope I don't lose. Alright, well, one of us is dead here. Oh, there's the black source. Did they find it? Alright, Duress is better than Dark Ritual. Alright, we survived to an untap step. Pretty sure I want to Brainstorm here. But I'm holding a lot of lands that I would like to turn into cards that I care about. The extra snake is kind of interesting. Veil of Summer's bananas, though. Just Veil, Snap Veil should buy me a lot of time in this matchup. Unless they just make a million goblins next turn. Yeah, so if they just don't do anything, I'm going to make the other snake. Alright, all our colors are online again. Wow. Oh, I can double veil now. And I'm holding up counterspell. I don't think I want Oko or the third veil, so I'm going to shuffle. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle before my next draw step. Like, I'm pressuring them, I don't need Oko. Like, the Snapcaster represents a lot of pressure too. I'm just ready for them to cast Oko. So I could get Tundra, or I could put Force of Negation in my hand, but I don't think I even need that. Though, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, I'll just get Force of Negation back in my hand. I'm going to brainstorm. I want to hit my land drops. Like, I can't double veil. Alright, so I'm not casting Oko this turn. I'm really not casting Snapcaster this turn, though. Alright, so if I put back one of the veils, since I can't cast two anyway, and the Snapcaster, I want to keep Oko as something easy to pitch to one of these forces. I'm just not going to fetch until I redraw those cards, because they're both great. Maybe I should have kept the Snapcaster so I could snap Brainstorm end step for extra pressure. Just cut the clock in half. Alright, I can still do that, it turns out. But then I lose the veil on top of my deck. Yeah, I'll just draw. I got all my cards back. I'm waiting for the fireworks. I just don't know what this bug deck does. There's got to be some reason that they're bug. Brainstorm is fine. Veil of Summer really changes the dynamics of this matchup. Like, Storm versus Miracles is usually pretty bad for Miracles. Alright, so I'm going for this end step Brainstorm. I'll speed up the clock. Juice up my hand. It's lots of good stuff. I don't think I need this island. I'll put Oko on top. I'm going to draw the Oko. Just as a blue card to pitch, I want to keep it around. I will fetch before I draw that island, though. I don't want that. End step Cabal Ritual. Are they going for an ad nauseum in my end step? At 6 life? Fortune favors the bold. It's funny that I could have countered that, but I just want to see more cards out of their deck. Alright, so they have Abrupt Decays. I'm really holding out to see if they... Okay, red mana. Though I knew about Past in Flames. Goblins don't even beat me here because I have flyers. I really want them to show me the Empty the Warrens before this game ends. Veil of Summer yourself. Alright, so I will engage in the counter war over that. Because I'm sitting on my own Veil over here, a million forces. Alright, so they have Flusterstorm. I'll let that clear out. I could just Veil in response to that and probably never lose. Yeah, that was the spot for Veil. Alright, they scooped it up anyway. Alright, so they have Abrupt Decays. And Xantid Swarm confirmed, so I want another plow. Goblins are still a maybe. And I'm not sure keeping one Terminus in my deck is even right for that. Like, on Z104, Anurag Das, he's a big-time Miracle streamer, big-time Miracle player. He likes to just minimize the possibility of losing. So I'm sure he would have like 3 or 4 Terminuses in the deck right now. I like to just hedge a little bit and play for a medium case scenario when I'm sideboarding. So you could go either way, but I don't think I want Terminus. They haven't shown me a reason to want them. Entreat could race Goblins, but I'm not even sure I care. Teferi might be better than Oko now that they've shown me Flusterstorm and Veil. Alright, I'll do this. Alright, I'm going to keep this on the draw. We have a Force and several cantrips. They're mulling to 4, my goodness. But even that is like kind of scary. Like, are their hands just bad, or is this deck capable of some explosive nonsense? I mean, obviously it's Storm, so it's capable of explosive nonsense, but like, specifically this bug build. Alright, so I want to get Astrolabe in first. I might have left up Brainstorm if they kept 7, but against 4 cards, hopefully I have time to deploy my Astrolabe without dying immediately. Alright, second Force, obviously insane. I'm just going to pass here. Holding up Force, blue card is pretty strong. And I'll Brainstorm in their end step. Alright, so Mystic Sanctuary goes back in the deck. And probably one of these lands. I'll just leave Trop on top and draw it. Because I do want to make sure I hit all my land drops and have all my colors. Nice. Alright, best card in my deck is now in my hand. Alright, and I'm going to shuffle because I don't want those additional lands. 4 should be plenty to make this happen. I'll get the Tundra. We got the full spread. One of every dual land, just straight up dealer case. Alright, so now I can snap Brainstorm in their end step, get some pressure on. Because their mull to 4 doesn't really matter if I can't pressure them. Like, I'm pretty well set up, I just have 6 counterspells in my hand. But if they sculpt a hand that can beat that, then it doesn't matter. Alright, they shuffled. Alright, so I'm going to tap my Trop for this Brainstorm because I have Astrolabe, but I don't want to like give them the visual cue that I'm holding up green. I don't know if that matters, but in case it does, I just want to make sure that it doesn't. Alright, so Island is definitely going away, and I don't think I need a third Force of Will. Oh, I can't shuffle right now anyway, so that's fine. So I'll draw the third Force of Will, and then play my land. And I'm probably going to snap Ponder right now, since my hand is pretty stacked. Alright, shuffle away that land. Snap the Ponder. Wow, alright. I'll keep that. This is quite a wall of spells we've assembled here. Alright, so I can force twice Flusterstorm and Veil of Summer. It's possible I should be fighting over these cantrips a little bit. But they've had to use their cantrips just to dig out of their mulligan, so I have that advantage going for me. I'll probably just discard Swords to Plowshares to hand size here. Because with Snapcaster in hand, I'm good against Scented Swarm, even with Plow in the graveyard. Alright, I talked myself into it. I want to get like some value off of some of my spells at some point. Like, I'm going to deploy this Snapcaster as a beat stick eventually, so that gives it a little bit of value to target. And I'm drawing another Force of Negation right now, so if I didn't cast a spell right then I would have had to discard to hand size again, or just main phase an embarrassing Snapcaster. Alright, so they're on a 3-turn clock that I can make into a 2-turn clock. So any spell they cast, I'm going to Snap Fluster. Except that one. That one I'll Veil of Summer. Alright, found another Force of Will. Alright, so I can't... God, this is just... I just have 6 forces in hand. I could make this into a 2-turn clock, but I think holding up Snap Veil is just too good. Alright, land was a good draw. That means we don't have to discard. Just have 7 counterspells in hand. Yeah, and saving the Snapcaster for this turn, the clock is the same. And they could Abrupt Decay, but I can Veil that. I'm definitely going to end step Snapcaster this turn, pretty much regardless. I could Force of Negation this. Or I could just not. I will, though. Yeah, I thought there was a... I was playing around Veil there, So I'm going to Snapcast or Flusterstorm, counter their Veil. And then that puts lethal on board. Alright, we did it. Put up that sweet bread and butter 3-2 with Bant Miracles. I was a little unimpressed with Entreat the Angels, like I said several times, but we only got the Entreat the Angels every turn with Mystic Sanctuary Engine online once, so maybe there's a little more to it. Oko is great. Otherwise, this mostly felt like Miracles. Having a flash threat with value attached is really nice. Like, Miracles has splashed black for Baleful Strix before in the past, and this card is much better in Miracles just by having flash. Then Veil of Summer, just the dumbest Magic card. And really got to flex on that one in the last round. So this deck is sweet. I want to find a way to put more Mentors in it. So it might even just be like not a Miracle deck, just like cut these or move them to the sideboard and put some Mentors in that 3-drop slot. Maybe I just am talking about how I want to play Bug Zenith, really. Like some mana creatures, powerful 3-drops. This is the second place deck from the same tournament. When I fill in the cards I'm missing for this, I'll make a video with that next. But yeah, this was Bant Miracles. Lots of cool stuff happening here. I'm glad Miracles is back. Ren and 6 is gone. Ding Dong, which is dead. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and follow me on Twitter at BoschandRoll. Happy to talk about Magic anytime.